Hi everyone, Laura Landergott here, Principal and Partner of Whole Growth Partners, bringing you this month's pop-up content, 5 ways to fill your funnel, that's your prospecting funnel, during Financial Literacy Awareness Month. And I've got actually 7 ideas to share with you, so I'm going to include 2 as a bonus. I just really like the alliteration of 5 ways to fill your funnel. So, April, hashtag Financial Literacy Month. There's some pretty staggering numbers out there on how anxious people are feeling and how little they really know about their finances. This month is absolutely a time for you to help educate, inform, and engage prospects and clients to help better understand how to achieve financial security. So as we walk through these ideas, you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, there's a gauge, and this will tell you how much time or effort it'll probably require to execute on this idea. So the first step is, I'd say, one of the most important, that is promote the designations on your team. Oftentimes I've worked with financial advisors who are hesitant to promote the fact that they've just earned a new credential or designation because they're afraid that their clients might think, I thought you always had that. I'd like you to put that aside, that notion aside, because this is what you've earned, you've worked hard for it, and it's the differentiator between you and your competitors. So take the time to educate clients and prospects on not only what these designations are, alphabet soup, but what they mean to them and why it really matters. And to help give you some insight, I've included a link to this Forbes article, and it helps break down kind of some substantive ideas about the designations themselves. And so hopefully that'll help fuel that information for you. And of course, it promoted on social media, but also include it in your signatures. We've helped some of our financial advisor clients create some very cool signatures that help identify and spell out what each of those designations mean in a really eye-catching kind of way. And of course, you want to promote it on your website and provide those definitions, but also celebrate with clients. Don't hesitate to send an email making the announcement. Even a snail mail is quite impressive, and include it in a press release. And prospecting pro tip number 1, here's some language that you can use when working with prospects. And that is, when you're selecting a financial advisor, make sure that they have the best credentials to serve your needs. And if you're not sure, then let's talk. Kind of opens up that door to discuss why and how you're different. And then pro tip number 2 is more about referrals. And that is, now that we've got this additional capacity on our team and have the RICP as an example, we're in a position to be able to help more couples who are approaching retirement prepare for income distribution. And we're accepting new clients. So you're using the opportunity to remind people that you've got capacity to take on new clients and you're looking for referrals. Okay, number 2. This is an easy one. Start a conversation on finances. So on social media, pose a question that gets people talking and pay attention to what they're saying and like and comment. Some easy questions are, what financial advice would you give your 20-year-old self? Or what are you saving for? Or what are your kids saving for? Those are good questions, kind of a softball. But I think a real meaty question is, what do you feel the biggest financial concerns are facing? And then insert your target market today. And what kind of a cool thing you can do with that is when you're listening, social listening to what they're saying, you can actually use that information to help build a valuable presentation or build valuable content in a webinar, and even go back to those contributors on social and ask them to join you, share their own story or their perspective, and then invite others to attend from their social circles. Number 3, raise awareness on social media. So one quick and easy way is talk to the folks on your team and ask them to share their thoughts and comments on what it means to create financial literacy. It's kind of an emotional reaction that you're going to get. You'll find that, and that's such a powerful storytelling mechanism to be able to share those quotes on social media. Another thing you can do is share some of those numbers that I shared with you on slide number 2. Just make sure that you cite the source. So, but it's real eye-opening and brings awareness to how far we have yet to go. And then the third idea here is I've included a link to a great article that breaks down in age by age some really interesting and cool things that parents can do to help educate their kids on money. So check this out. I think you can break it down into some, take a couple of pieces out of this, break it down, and use it as social content throughout the month. Okay, number 4, make finances fun for your clients' kids. I always say if there's anything that you can do to help a top client's kids, business, or philanthropy, it's a home run. And so in this case, I'd say do a query and identify all of your A+ and A clients that have kids in kind of that middle school age range, and then do something nice for them, whether it's give a game. There's a link here to some educational board games that teach money in a fun way, or a book. One of my favorites is How to Turn $100 into $1 Million, and send that to them, as well as whether it's some of you might remember Penny the Pig or a Moon Jar, this idea of a piggy bank being parceled out into 3 sections. When a kid gets their allowance, they save a portion, they spend a portion, and they share a portion. And the prospecting pro tip here is you're bound to get thank yous when you send these gifts to your clients. And it might take a little bit of effort. You can see here on the medium scale in that gauge. But the best part is when you get those thank yous, that gives you such a prime opportunity to be able to say, that's awesome, I'm so glad you liked it, or your kid liked it. Who else do you think would appreciate Everything Kids money book? I'd love to be able to send them one as well. So don't overlook the referral opportunity here. And then my personal favorite is host an SAT educational session. And I don't mean SAT, I kind of was having a little fun with this. It's more of the summer adulting time. So it's graduation time. And as they're getting ready to as parents are getting ready to send their kids off to college, oftentimes the kids might not even have a basic understanding of things like budgeting, or how to interpret and read your pay stub, or if you're making a decision about your 401k, what should you be doing as you're starting to get your first job. And this is such a great opportunity to help provide that education to your parents' kids. So prospecting pro tip here, which I think is just brilliant, is to collaborate with an A+ client, somebody who has a graduating senior, and offer this idea to host a webinar for the kids' friends and their parents, and ask them to fill the seats, if you will, of this webinar. And then as a special thank you, you make a charitable donation to a school of their choice in their name. So that really, helps, them feel good about the work that's being done. And then you can also use matching gifts to double that amount. So I think it's a great idea, perfect for this time of year. And then two bonus ideas. One is really important, and that is to engage both spouses in your meetings. We know that women tend to outlive men, and they have an absolute need to understand where their finances are and what to do. But sometimes men tend to take the lead in the financial conversations, and women may or may not join them. Make sure that you're insisting that both spouses be present. There's a couple reasons for this. Not only do they need to have this information if their spouse were to pass away and feel empowered to take their own financial security in their own hands, but there's some consequences if you don't have a relationship with the female partner, and that is not only if there's no relationship, you're probably not getting any referrals from her, but you run the risk of not retaining that business if her male partner were to pass away, and the first thing she's going to do is search for another financial advisor who gets her. So I think this is critical advice, and if you're not in a position to build that relationship, look to your team. That's why you have a team, and to nurture and build those relationships with both partners. Another idea is to create a jargon-free cheat sheet on what some of those common terms are in finance. I got that as an idea from one of the client interviews we had done with a financial advisor's top client, and the female client had said, I really would find it valuable if I could just kind of refer back to, because I feel like I'm constantly asking the same questions and I don't want to feel stupid. So this is kind of a really neat way to be able to help educate along the way. A pro tip here is for a female client that you feel is really engaged within the financial services or your financial conversations and the planning for with her spouse and her family, that's a perfect opportunity to ask for her help in setting up a private conversation, a small group conversation specifically for women in a non-judgmental way. All right, and then bonus idea number 2 is kind of on the same line, but facilitate an all-family meeting. So this is a concept of building relationships with not only the adult children of your top clients, but anyone that's important to them, and to bring all those parties together around the table. And it creates an opportunity for the parents, the older parents, to be able to communicate and pass down the things that are most important to them in terms of financial culture, values, what they hope to leave behind and carry on after they're gone. It's a very emotional conversation, and one that puts you in a position to be able to help navigate that and help set people up for success. So prospecting pro tip here is not only to do so with adult children, but to leverage the team in order to build those relationships. All right, so that brings us to grand finale of the 5 ways to fill your funnel: promote designations, start a conversation, raise awareness on social, make it fun for clients' kids, host a summer adulting time prep session for graduating seniors and their parents, and then the 2 bonus ideas of make sure that both spouses are at the table and facilitate an all-family meeting in order to share those values. So that brings us to the end. Thank you so much. And if there's anything that we've shared in as ideas in our pop-up content that you would like to know more about, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to share. Thanks so much and have a great day.